As the election draws near, we look at more shocking revelations on the Biden corruption scandal, how media giants got their knuckles rapped, a light-hearted look at Biden's blunders, and why voting for Biden may result in President Kamala Harris. This is the Dr. Jaymz Show. Earlier this week on Tucker, Tony Bobulinski, a former business associate of Hunter Biden, dropped more bombshell allegations about Joe Biden's involvement in Hunter's sketchy dealings with the Chinese.
Sitting with Jim Biden and Hunter Biden, and Joe came through the lobby with his security, and Hunter introduced me as, this is Tony, Dad, the individual I told you about that's helping us with the business that we're working on and the Chinese.
The former vice president has said he had no knowledge whatsoever of his son's business dealings and was not involved in them.
Yeah, that's a blatant lie. I know Joe decided not to run in 2016, but what if he ran in the future? Aren't they taking political risk or headline risk? And I remember looking at Jim Biden and saying, how are you guys getting away with this? Like, aren't you concerned? And he looked at me and he laughed a little bit and said, plausible deniability.
Let's be clear, Hunter is not the story here. It's his father, Joe. This whole story exposes the Biden crime family, with Joe as the Don at the very top. Joe was selling his foreign policy influence to the highest bidder and used his son Hunter as the bagman. That is despicable by any standard. And don't believe the media spin that is part of some Russian disinformation campaign. That is an outright lie. The FBI, along with the Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, have dispelled that idea. And just in case you think Bobulinski has an axe to grind, this is what he had to say.
They then brought in Russian disinformation and basically associated my name with that, which is absolutely disgusting to me. And I had to go on the record.
This isn't a story about what he said, she said, I said, you said. Bobulinski has physical evidence to back up his claims.
But I've provided more documents and facts that validate times, meetings, who participated. That email to me on May 13th was generated by somebody else sent to me. It wasn't me generating. These text messages that I've provided are Hunter Biden in the first person, Jim Biden in the first person, James Gilliar in the first person, Rob Walker in the first person. It's not me generating the text messages. It's them speaking.
Despite the emails, the documents, the tapes, the messages, and the witnesses, this story is getting less coverage than Cory Booker finding out that drag queen RuPaul is his cousin. Just yesterday, a Department of Justice official confirmed that Hunter Biden and his business associates are under active criminal investigation by the FBI. According to Bobulinski, Joe has been an active business associate of Hunter. So where does that leave Joe in his campaign for president? Never in the history of the United States has a person investigated by the FBI been a candidate for the presidency. But you won't hear about this from lamestream media. We live in a world where they decide who to protect or harm. They have become the new mafia cartel. If this story was about Trump, the airwaves will be permeated with deranged screams and cries for his impeachment again. That's right. If the shoe was on the other foot, doctors would have to sedate the entire anchor team at CNN and MSNBC to stop them foaming at the mouth. Most journalists today lean to the left. They fear that covering the Biden story may just get Trump re-elected, so they don't want to touch it with a 6-foot pole, or in Hunter's case, a 6-foot stripper pole. It's the same with the riots, with the postal ballot fraud and the colossal crowds attending Trump's rallies. Any honest reporting is forbidden if it helps Trump. So instead, they exclude the truth from public view, in the hope it will just go away. And that's exactly why a Senate hearing took place just this week for the heads of 3 technology giants to answer questions about the impact of social media on the election. At the hearing, we had the usual suspects: Twitter's Jack Dorsey, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, and Google's Sundar Pichai. They were subpoenaed to face an all-American grilling with some extra hot pepper sauce piled on by Senator Ted Cruz for their part in censoring the Biden story in the New York Post.
The New York Post was founded by Alexander Hamilton, and your position is that you can sit in Silicon Valley and demand of the media that you can tell them what stories they can publish, and you can tell the American people what reporting they can hear. Is that right?
No, this was a, every person, every account, every organization that signs up to Twitter agrees to a terms of service.
Mr. Dorsey, who the hell elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report and what the American people are allowed to hear? And why do you persist in behaving as a Democratic super PAC, silencing views to the contrary of your political beliefs?
I just love it. Cruz made Dorsey feel more heat in that hearing than if he tasted ghost pepper in a Mexican grill. Besides needing a bath and a shave, Dorsey is a hypocrite. He clearly has double standards, one for the right and one for the left. And yes, he leans to the left. Just yesterday, Twitter suspended the account of the head of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Now, wait for it, because they were touting progress on the border wall. I mean, shock, horror. Twitter said the tweet violated policy against hateful conduct. But since when does stopping gang members, crime lords, and drugs from entering the country constitute a hate crime? This is more evidence of the bizarre and balmy left-leaning behavior of media moguls. Next on the grill is Mark Zuckerberg, and the cook is Senator Ron Johnson. I mean, don't you just love watching these moguls get fried?
Did the FBI contact you and say the New York Post story was false?
Senator, not about that story specifically, but in general.
Why did you throttle it back?
We didn't censor the content. We flagged it for fact checkers to review, and pending that review, we temporarily constrained its distribution to make sure that it didn't spread wildly while it was being reviewed.
Oh, so he didn't censor the content. He simply constrained its distribution. What a hypocrite. It's just another way of saying you blocked it. This is all smoke and mirrors, friends. These moguls know exactly what they're doing, and they do it deliberately. And as for Google, we have evidence they are in bed with the Biden cartel. Now here's Google's head of competitive global analysis, Ashwin Agrawal, talking about how Google manipulates people's thinking.
Now the more you see a Biden ad, the more passionate or the more sort of leaning you're going to become to Biden.
For Biden.
If you're a Democrat and you're seeing more and more Democrat, you're not given an opportunity to change your mind.
Yeah.
And I think you can feed so much Democratic ads. So this is content that they have not wanted to see or they've signed up to see. But they're just being fed, right? All day. So if I'm on YouTube, 2 hours a day, and I'm given like 50 ads, they're all Democratic ads. Some people, when they would find out about that, may become very uncomfortable.
So there you have it. These tech giants are playing God with US politics and restricting the freedom of the press by censoring what they don't want you to see and promoting what they do want you to see. Now onto something you need to see. There's no doubt that Joe Biden has committed more blunders than Cardi B has on her Twitter and Instagram accounts combined. But just in case you're still tempted to vote for Barmy Biden, here's a roundup of some of the best blunders just to remind you.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia. Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth, out of $1.4 billion. That's exactly what Brock and I talked about in the beginning. So have a mechanism to control drug prices. I want you to know, if you look at PolitiFacts, when Bobby Kennedy and Dr. King had been assassinated in the 70s, late 70s, when I got engaged, poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
While Biden's blunders are definitely more entertaining than the Jimmy Fallon show, there is a serious undertone to all of this. Biden's display of disorientation, mental confusion, memory loss, jumbled speech, the tendency to make things up, and his shuffling gait and resting hand tremor are all symptoms of dementia, most likely Parkinson's disease.
Leaning unnaturally forward, head dropped down, shoulders down, with bent knees and hips. Compare him with the gentleman walking next to him, heels down, toes up, walking in regular strides. There is a purpose. This is a normal walk. Biden is having an episode. We observe Joe Biden with a resting tremor in his left hand. This is important. And just this year on The Daily Show, we see another tremor that throws his full body into an involuntary spasm until he regains his composure by pulling down on his suit jacket.
Now, if this is all true, and Biden has Parkinson's disease dementia, this is nothing short of elder abuse by the Democratic Party machine, who are using him as their avatar. So who really is running for president? Kamala Harris. That's right, folks, you are being duped. Long ago, concocted in the corridors of the dark side by Dem Sith Lords, their plan was to get Biden elected, then use the 25th Amendment to remove him from office on the grounds of mental capacity, and in his place install Kamala Harris as Emperor of the Republic. This diabolical scheme has been their secret, but not anymore. Because no matter how you try to bury the truth, it will always rise to the surface for all to see through various unrepressed behaviors and Freudian slips that have now become all too evident. Watch and decide for yourself, my Padawans.
One thing that people miss in California is Kamala Harris. What positions would you consider her for under your presidency?
Anything she'd be interested in.
A Harris administration together with Joe Biden.
And I'm married to the next president of the United States!
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort. My name's Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband, and I am Kamala's running mate. You all think I'm kidding, don't you?
You've seen it for yourself. When they tell you who they are, believe them the first time. The Dems' diabolical plan has been hatched. Vote Biden and you'll get Emperor Kamala Harris, who makes even Hillary Clinton blush. Harris has already said she would repeal Trump's tax reforms and increase your taxes. Bring in a Green New Deal that would eliminate the oil industry, crush the economy, ban fracking, and yes, even ban plastic straws. Reduce the amount of red meat you eat. Support women who choose to kill their babies all the way up to birth. She will pack the Supreme Court, use executive powers to take away your guns, and allow illegal immigrants, even those with criminal records, to remain in the US. So friends, this is serious. You can fact check me on all of this. She's even more leftist than Bolshevik Bernie Sanders. But that's who your new radical socialist president will be if Biden wins. At this point, you're either American or Democrat. So get out there and vote. Choose wisely and make America great. Make America red again. And don't forget to share this show and subscribe to WhatTV to catch my post-election coverage.